Cigarettes aren't good for us. That's hardly news. We've known about the dangers of smoking for decades. But how exactly do cigarettes harm us? Let's look at what happens as their ingredients make their way through our bodies and how we benefit physically when we finally give up smoking. With each inhalation, smoke brings its more than 5,000 chemical substances into contact with the body's tissues. From the start, tar, a black, resinous material, begins to coat the teeth and gums, damaging tooth enamel and eventually causing decay. Over time, smoke also damages nerve endings in the nose, causing loss of smell. Inside the airways and lungs, smoke increases the likelihood of infections, as well as chronic diseases like bronchitis and emphysema. It does this by damaging the cilia, tiny, hair-like structures whose job it is to keep the airways clean. It then fills the alveoli, tiny air sacs that enable the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the lungs and blood. A toxic gas called carbon monoxide crosses that membrane into the blood, binding to hemoglobin and displacing the oxygen it would usually have transported around the body. That's one of the reasons smoking can lead to oxygen deprivation and shortness of breath. Within about 10 seconds, the bloodstream carries a stimulant called nicotine to the brain, triggering the release of dopamine and other neurotransmitters, including endorphins, that create the pleasurable sensations which make smoking highly addictive. Nicotine and other chemicals from the cigarette simultaneously cause constriction of blood vessels and damage their delicate endothelial lining, restricting blood flow. These vascular effects lead to thickening of blood vessel walls and enhance blood platelet stickiness, increasing the likelihood that clots will form and trigger heart attacks and strokes. Many of the chemicals inside cigarettes can trigger dangerous mutations in the body's DNA that make cancers form. Additionally, ingredients like arsenic and nickel may disrupt the process of DNA repair, thus compromising the body's ability to fight many cancers. In fact, about 1 of every 3 cancer deaths in the United States is caused by smoking. And it's not just lung cancer. Smoking can cause cancer in multiple tissues and organs, as well as damaged eyesight and weakened bones. It makes it harder for women to get pregnant, and in men, it can cause erectile dysfunction. But for those who quit smoking, there's a huge positive upside with almost immediate and long-lasting physical benefits. Just 20 minutes after a smoker's final cigarette, their heart rate and blood pressure begin to return to normal. After 12 hours, carbon monoxide levels stabilize, increasing the blood's oxygen carrying capacity. A day after ceasing, heart attack risk begins to decrease as blood pressure and heart rates normalize. After 2 days, the nerve endings responsible for smell and taste start to recover. Lungs become healthier after about 1 month, with less coughing and shortness of breath. The delicate, hair-like cilia in the airways and lungs start recovering within weeks and are restored after 9 months, improving resistance to infection. By the 1-year anniversary of quitting, heart disease risk plummets to half as blood vessel function improves. 5 years in, the chance of a clot forming dramatically declines and the risk of stroke continues to reduce. After 10 years, the chances of developing fatal lung cancer go down by 50%, probably because the body's ability to repair DNA is once again restored. 15 years in, the likelihood of developing coronary heart disease is essentially the same as that of a non-smoker. There's no point pretending this is all easy to achieve. Quitting can lead to anxiety and depression resulting from nicotine withdrawal. But fortunately, such effects are usually temporary, and quitting is getting easier, thanks to a growing arsenal of tools. Nicotine replacement therapy through gum, skin patches, lozenges and sprays may help wean smokers off cigarettes. They work by stimulating nicotine receptors in the brain and thus preventing withdrawal symptoms without the addition of other harmful chemicals. Counseling and support groups, cognitive behavioral therapy, and moderate intensity exercise also help smokers stay cigarette-free. That's good news, since quitting puts you and your body on the path back to health. If you want to see more videos on building healthy habits, check out this playlist. And if you want to help support TED-Ed's non-profit mission please consider making a small donation at patreon.com/TEDEd.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley Drummond, the Director of Nursing, and I'm here today with Christina Dundee from Housekeeping. We are the champions for Smoke Free Campus, go live on April 1st, and we would like to share with you why we would like to champion this program.
I would like to champion this program because it is healthy to not smoke and because I want to save money.
I also would like to be a champion so I can be a role model not only for our staff and residents but my children as well. I would like to save money with Christina. I spend about $70 a week on smoking, and I would like to be somewhere warm on vacation with that money instead.
All right, so then we're going to go through some question and answers then. So, Christina, what should I do in place of smoking?
In place of smoking, I would go for a walk or listen to music or reach out to a friend.
All right, all great examples. Ashley, why is ECP going smoke-free?
ECP is going smoke-free because a lot of the communities in our surrounding area have already been smoke-free, and we really want to promote a healthy lifestyle for our staff and our residents because we are healthcare.
Okay. Christina, I know that Ashley touched on her cost savings. What do you think would be some additional cost savings for the state of Wisconsin for us?
For us, at East Castle Place, it is $3,000 a year you would save by not buying cigarettes, which would average out to a $1.50 raise.
Ooh.
It's pretty good to me.
I'll take that.
Me too.
All right, last question I have then, Ashley, is where and when can I smoke once April 1st hits?
Good question. So you have to smoke off of ECP property because we will be smoke-free, which means you have to go across the street. So to leave ECP property, you need to punch out. We are only allowed to punch out during our lunch breaks, and we do not punch out for our 15-minute break. So you are only allowed to go across the street and smoke during lunchtime if you are punched out.
Okay. And then for anyone, who do I go to if I have any questions or concerns with this?
So if you have questions or concerns, you can always see Jen, Tony, Tyler, or me or Christina as your smoke-free champions. So please join me and Christina and help us break the habit. Yay!
Yay!
You know that smoking is bad for your body. You also know that the longer you smoke, the worse it is for your body. But what you may not know is how good it is for your body to quit smoking, and that the longer you go without smoking, the healthier your body becomes. After only 20 minutes from your last cigarette, your blood pressure, pulse rate, and the temperature of your hands and feet all return to normal. After 8 hours, the nicotine in your bloodstream reduces by 93.25%. After 12 hours, your blood oxygen level increases to normal, while your carbon monoxide level drops to normal. After 24 hours, your quitting-related anxieties peak and will return to pre-quitting levels within 2 weeks. After 48 hours, damaged nerve endings are regrowing, and your sense of smell and taste are returning to normal. At this time, your quitting-related anger and irritability peak. After 72 hours, you are 100% nicotine-free. Your withdrawal symptoms already peaked, the bronchial tubes in your lungs are relaxing, and you're now breathing easier. After 5 to 8 days, you're having an average of 3 cue-induced cravings each day, and no craving lasts longer than 3 minutes. After 10 days, you have less than 2 cravings a day, each less than 3 minutes. After 2 weeks, the blood circulation in your gums and teeth are similar to a non-smoker. After 2 to 4 weeks, your quitting-related anger, anxiety, impatience, insomnia, restlessness, and depression are gone. After 2 weeks to 3 months, your risk of heart attack is dropping and your lung function is improving. After 3 weeks to 3 months, your circulation is improved, your chronic cough disappeared, and you are walking easier. After 9 months, your sinus congestion, fatigue, and shortness of breath are decreased. The cilia in your lungs, which keep your lungs clean, are regrown, and you have increased energy. After 1 year, your excess risk of coronary heart disease, heart attack, and stroke are now half the excess risk of a smoker. After 5 to 15 years, your risk of having a stroke is the same as a non-smoker. After 10 years, your risk of lung cancer is 30 to 50% of a smoker's risk. Your risk of death from lung cancer is reduced by half, and your risk of pancreatic cancer is the same as a non-smoker. Your risk of mouth, throat, and esophagus cancer is also reduced. After 13 years, your risk of tooth loss is the same as a non-smoker. After 15 years, your risk of coronary heart disease is the same as a non-smoker. After 20 years, the risk of death from smoking-related causes is now that of a non-smoker. Good as new. Learn how to quit smoking and return your body to health. Visit quitsmoking.com.